Hey, everybody. Sorry I missed rehearsal. I'm feeling much better now.
Don't try and make it.
I'll make it. Just
James wrote to the believers. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. It is a great honor to be back at Ebenezer Baptist Church, the pulpit of its greatest pastor, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. To pay my respects to perhaps his finest disciple, American whose faith was tested again and again to produce a man of pure joy and unbreakable perseverance. John Robert Lewis. To those who have spoken, Presidents Bush and Clinton, and the Speaker, Reverend Warnock, Reverend King, John's family, friends, his beloved staff, Mayor Bottoms. I've come here today because I, like so many Americans, owe a great debt to John Lewis and his forceful vision of freedom. Now, this country is a constant work in progress. We're born with instructions to form a more perfect union. Explicit in those words is the idea that we're imperfect. And what gives each new generation purpose is to take up the unfinished work of the last and carry it further than any might have thought possible. John Lewis, first of the Freedom Riders, head of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, youngest speaker of the March on Washington, leader of the march from Selma to Montgomery, member of Congress representing the people of this state and this district for 33 years, mentor to young people, including me at the time, until his final day on this earth. He not only embraced that responsibility, but he made it his life's work. Which isn't bad, a boy from Troy. John was born into modest means. That means he was poor. In the heart of the Jim Crow South, to parents who picked somebody else's cotton. Apparently he didn't take to farm work. On days when he was supposed to help his brothers and sisters with their labor, he'd hide under the porch and take a break for the school bus when it showed up. His mother, Willie Mae Lewis, nurtured that curiosity in this shy, serious child. Once you learn something, she told her son, once you get something inside your head. No one can take it away from you. His boy John listened through the door after bedtime. His father's friends complained about the climate. One Sunday as a teenager, he heard Dr. King preach on the radio. As a college student in Tennessee, he signed up for Jim Lawson's workshops on the tactic of nonviolent civil disobedience. John Lewis was getting something inside his head. An idea he couldn't shake took hold of him. That nonviolent resistance to civil disobedience means to change laws, but also change hearts and change minds, change nations, change the world. So he helped organize the Nashville campaign in 1960. He and other young men and women sat at a segregated lunch counter, well-dressed, straight back, refusing to let a milkshake poured on their heads or a cigarette extinguished on their backs or a foot aimed at their ribs. Refused to let that dent their dignity and a sense of purpose. After a few months, the Nashville campaign achieved the first successful desegregation of public facilities in any major city in the South. John got a taste of jail. The first, second, third, well, several times. But he also got a taste of victory. Consumed him with righteous purpose. He took the battle deeper into the South. That same year, just weeks after the Supreme Court ruled that segregation of interstate bus facilities was unconstitutional, John and Bernard Lafayette bought 2 tickets, climbed aboard the Greyhound, sat up front, and refused to move. This was months before the first official freedom rides. He was doing a test. The trip was unsanctioned. Few knew what they were up to. And at every stop through the night, apparently, the angry driver stormed out of the bus and into the bus station. John and Bernard had no idea what he might come back with, or who he might come back with. Nobody was there to protect them. There were no camera crews to record events. Sometimes we read about this and we kind of take it for granted, or at least we act as if it was inevitable. Imagine the courage of 2 people Malia's age, younger than my oldest daughter, on their own, to challenge an entire infrastructure of oppression. John was only 20 years old, but he pushed all 20 of those years to the center of the table, betting everything, all of it, that his example could challenge centuries of convention and generations of brutal violence and countless daily indignities suffered by African Americans. Like John the Baptist preparing the way, by by those Old Testament prophets speaking truth to kings. John Lewis did not hesitate, and he kept on getting on board buses and sitting at lunch counters